Hey everybody, it's Chilesa ready. I'm here to talk about the green smoothie cleanse that I completed a couple of weeks ago. I got so many questions about my journey and I decided that I would go live and talk a little bit about it. One of the most important things for me is just why I did it. But I want to I think this is great technology. I thank Coletta Patterson for letting me know about it, and I'm excited about sharing a little bit about my journey now. But basically, I have three children, and after the first two, I was able to work and exercise to get back to the place I wanted to be in terms of my weight and my health. But then 5 years later, I had my last child who just recently turned 2, and I found that the weight was very difficult to get rid of. And so I knew, especially at the 2 year mark, that I needed something to jumpstart me into getting back to some healthier living habits and to also help begin to lose some of the weight. So I had a girlfriend tell me about the green smoothie cleanse. She was suspicious at first, but her coworker was telling her about it and how she had reaped the benefits of the smoothie cleanse and had actually lost weight. My friend then did it and told me, oh my gosh, I actually lost weight on this green smoothie cleanse. And so I was intrigued because my girlfriend is very much like me. I don't do diets, I don't do fads, I just believe in healthy living and routine exercise. And so I did the green smoothie cleanse upon recommendation of, like I said, a really good friend. And so the green smoothie cleanse that I followed is a book by J.J. Smith, the 10-day green smoothie cleanse. See if you can see it here. And as you can see in the corner, I got the book for $7.99 at Half Price Books. And you can get it at any bookstore. But anyway, so I followed it. I read the book first and I followed the tips that she has in the book. But the reason I did the cleanse, of course, is once again, I needed some help after I had my third child. It was 5 years. I have a 5 year separation between my second and my third child, and that third child just did it to me. I don't know if I have any mommies on the line that have had several children, but the weight can become difficult to lose, especially the older that you become. And so, like I said, I picked up the Green Smoothie Cleanse book by J.J. Smith and read through it from the very beginning to the very end to see what information was in the book. Again, I don't do fads and diets and things like that, so I really wanted to make sure, was this something legitimate that would jumpstart me to my weight loss goal and also to my healthy living goal? And I can say that it did do that. So questions that I received were, how did you do the cleanse? How did you stick with the cleanse? The cleanse basically is a green smoothie 3 times a day. So you can do it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you're given various fruit and vegetable snacks and a handful of nuts here and there that you can have throughout the day. And so that's the format for the cleanse. And like I said, a lot of times people are asking me, how in the world did you even stick to that? How did you prevent, or what did you do when you got hungry? And so I will say, number one, eat your snacks. She recommends, like I said, fruits and vegetables, raw vegetables. You can also have a handful of nuts. So make sure that you plan ahead and have snacks available, because you will get hungry. I mean, you're deceiving yourself if you think that you can drink smoothies throughout the day and not get hungry. You will definitely get hungry, so you need to plan accordingly. If you pick up the book by J.J. Smith, the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, it'll give you recommendations for what types of snacks you can have. I also would say that another part of sticking with the cleanse is really just sheer willpower. This is one of those things you just got to gut it through. You have to remember why you're doing it. So if the reason you're doing it is because you need a jump start like I did so that you could begin to practice some more healthy habits, it will do that, and you need to remind yourself of that as you're going through the cleanse. The other thing is, maybe if you're a visual person and you have a picture of the way you looked before, maybe that's something you post on your refrigerator or put on your pillow or on your bathroom mirror so that you can remember the reason why you're doing the cleanse. That helps. You will need to do a lot of self-talk. So when you get really hungry and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, self-talk is a definite. Encourage yourself, remind yourself, hey, you can do this. It's worth your while. What you're doing during the 10 days of the smoothie cleanse is you are allowing your body time to flush out all of those toxins and bad waste and all of that stuff that's built up over the years. So if you've never done a cleanse, like I had never done a cleanse, this is my first cleanse. I'd never done one. I constantly reminded myself that I'm allowing my body time to detox. And so that will also help in those times when you find that you're really craving different foods and you really want to eat something else. It's just remind yourself that by drinking the smoothies and the few snacks that you're given, you're allowing your body time to flush out all of the bad waste and that type of thing. So those are some reasons that you can use to remind yourself and to help you through those very hungry times. And then the other thing you need to do is make sure you plan ahead. I can't stress enough how much planning you really need to do. Like, think through your daily routine. So if you have an 8 to 5 job, make sure that on your job, if you get hungry, usually mid-morning, make sure you have something handy that you can snack on based on the snacks recommended in the book. Or if your time is maybe 1 o'clock right after lunch, whatever it is, make sure that you have your snacks, and then maybe even plan some activity that you can do. So many times when we're busy or our minds are active, we're not thinking about food. And so you might want to plan, if you decide you want to do the 10 days, the 10-day smoothie cleanse, you might want to plan to plan some activities. So if you're at work, maybe you plan to take a little break and take a short walk, or maybe go to a coworker's desk and say, do something for a few minutes on your break time. But see if you can plan in some activity, or maybe you're looking up something on your computer that would help remind you about why you're doing the cleanse. There's tons of information on the internet on the green smoothie cleanse, tons of different little blogs that you could look up, and I think there's a couple of different Facebook groups for different ones who are doing the cleanse all at one time. So that would be great information that you could pull up in those times when you're getting hungry. Then you can in those times you're getting hungry, then you can, pull that information and it'll help encourage you. So again, for the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, if you're going to do the full cleanse, you're going to do three smoothies a day with snacks, vegetables, raw fruits, nuts in between. If you're going to do the moderated cleanse, you'll do 2 smoothies a day, and you can choose when those will be. And then you do a light meal, so maybe you do a salad with a light dressing or something like that, or no dressing at all. And once again, you can find all of that information in J.J. Smith's book, The 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse. My results in the book, she tells you will lose 10 to 15 pounds, because typically in our bodies we carry that much waste. And so you will find as you're beginning to flush your system that you will lose the weight just because you're flushing out all of the bad toxins. The way that to maintain the weight loss, I'll get to that in a second. But so the book promises 10 to 15 pounds lost. Some people will lose more inches. So in terms of what I lost 9 pounds, and I lost 3 pounds in my waist, and then I lost 3 inches in my waist, and I lost 2 inches in my hips. And so those were my results. The inches have stayed off. Some of the weight, because I'm eating more solid food and not just drinking all of my food, has come back. But like I said, for me, it was all about getting back into those pre-pregnancy clothes. And so the inches have gone down, and that's really the result that I was looking for. You might be the same. Maybe it is weight and inches that you want to lose, or maybe it's more inches because you have some size clothes you want to get back into. Whatever it is very doable, but you have to have the right mindset. So if you are going to do the green smoothie cleanse, and I hope that all of those joining will do it, it's certainly very, very worthwhile. I was about to say you will enjoy it, but I need to change that word. You will find it to be rewarding. I'll put it like that. You will have to grit your teeth You will have to find some willpower deep inside, but you can do it. Many people have done it before, and I look at it like this. It took me this long to get all of that stuff in me. It's going to take a little bit of willpower, determination, and persistence to get my body into the shape that it needs to be. And so whatever result you're looking for, use this as a jump start. You want to use the book, the 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse. Use that as a jump start, because that's what it's intended to be. J.J. Smith actually talks about in her book that it's not a dieting method. In fact, she encourages you, if you want to maintain taking green smoothies, you can, but you don't want to continue the full cleanse for any long period of time. You certainly want to have an ending period. So do the 10-day smoothie cleanse and then begin to implement some of the healthy habits that you're learning as you go through the cleanse. Now, what I will say is that as you're doing the cleanse, you will find that your palate begins to change. So because you're not eating all of the fatty foods and the saturated fats and the grease and the fried chicken and the French fries and pizza and all of those things, your palate is beginning to change. So you will begin to crave more healthy foods to the point where when you come off of the cleanse, you will probably want to have that favorite food that you've been thinking about for the last 10 days. But then you'll find that it's not quite as enjoyable. And that's a good thing. So you want to continue to play that emotion and play that feeling up and continue to use that momentum that you've built over the 10 days so that you can continue those healthy habits. So what I have found is that, yes, at times I do want a fry or a good burger or something, but it's less and less. And I find the most surprising thing that I find is that my taste is, I don't really crave those things. And the times when I want those things is when I smell those things. But outside of then, I'm most satisfied when I have a nice salad with lots of vegetables, because for the last 10 days, that's what I've had. And so mentally, I'm thinking I want to have something nice and healthy. And then my palate, of course, begins to crave those things as well. In terms of feeling full and that type of thing, what the cleanse will do is while you are on the cleanse, you will have times when you feel hungry. There's no getting around that, like I said earlier. But what happens is your body is really satisfied. So you have your smoothies and you have your nice healthy snacks, and your body is satisfied. It's our mind that we have to begin to retrain. So your mind is used to you taking in a certain amount of food. You're accustomed to, having different types of food. And so when you begin to wean yourself from those things, your mind is mentally saying, I really want some more food, or I really think I want this ice cream, or I really want this, whatever your thing might be. But really your body is satisfied. And so that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to teach your body over this course of the 10 days. You're reprogramming it to not only just crave other things, but you want your mind to understand that there is a certain point of satisfaction, and you want to stop eating. You want to stop your input of food when your body is satisfied, and not necessarily when you feel full. And so when you're on the green smoothie cleanse, please don't expect to feel full from the smoothies, because you will not, but your body will be satisfied and it will have the fuel that it needs to make it. And so that's the feeling you want to continue to get accustomed to, so that after you finish the cleanse, you can remember what that feels like and know, hey, I don't really need to have this second helping of whatever it is. The other thing that you're going to find begins to happen is you're going to want to maintain the healthy, cleansed state of your body. So you've spent 10 days with nothing but fruits, vegetables, and the very healthy fats from raw nuts like almonds and things like that, your healthier nuts. And so your body has cleaned itself out. You will find you will want to keep that cleaned out status. And so Now I think differently about food. So instead of having the normal white rice, maybe I substitute that for brown rice or no rice at all. I find that I'm trying to fuel my body with more fruits and vegetables to make sure that I have the healthy things in my body that really are fuel and aren't empty calories. My problem has always been drinking a lot of water. I don't really like water. Maybe somebody else out there is like me. So it was a difficult thing on the cleanse to drink all the water that I was supposed to. I believe she recommends 64 ounces. To me, that's just an enormous amount of water. But I did the best I could with the water. I didn't get the 64 ounces every day, but I did as much as I could drinking the water. And of course, I had my smoothies and my fruits and vegetables. But what I'm saying now is that since I've left the cleanse, I haven't gone back to drinking solely Kool-Aid and solely sweet tea and those types of things. The main thing I drink is water. And in the mornings, I have a green smoothie. And then throughout the rest of the day, I just really look at what I'm eating. So maybe it's a salad that I have, or maybe it's some pure form of protein. Like I said, with the rice, instead of white rice, it'll be brown rice. And like I said, because during the 10 days, you're getting used to the way healthier food tastes. Then after the 10 days, you can continue that. And so my husband says that wheat bread tastes like, he thinks it tastes like dirt. Or some of your more whole grain breads do taste a little gritty. And then the brown rice, it got a little bit of a different taste too. But once again, during the cleanse, you're getting your palate accustomed to how these things taste. And so you'll find that it's much easier and enjoyable, actually, to have the healthier foods. So those are some of the things that I learned, some of the ways that I stayed on it. The first day of the cleanse was okay. I'm excited. I was excited about doing it, looking to see what the results would be. The second day, I was very, very fatigued. And that's a symptom that J.J. Smith does include in her book. And so I will say be prepared for that. The first couple of days, you might find that you're a little more tired than you typically are used to feeling. But then towards the end of the cleanse, you should feel your energy levels coming up, especially as you're flushing out all of the bad toxic waste. And you're fueling your body with healthier things that feed your brain. You should find that your energy levels rise. I certainly did. And then you just take it one day at a time. Sometimes you got to take it 1 hour or even 1 minute at a time. But slowly but surely you will make it through. So I have a question here. Which day out of the 10 days was the hardest and why? My 10-day smoothie cleanse was a roller coaster. So maybe the first day was okay. The second day, there was a dip. There was a valley. Then I went back up maybe the third and fourth day. And then the fifth day, it was just really hard. So, that was how my journey went. But I do know from other friends that have done it that they felt like first couple of days were really difficult. And then the very last 5 days, they were fine. Some of that is that you're getting accustomed, your body is getting accustomed to having the liquid intake with just a few solids. And so as your body begins to adjust to that, you become more comfortable. Other people might struggle in other areas, so that it's not necessarily the body getting accustomed to it, but maybe it's also your mental status of you getting used to just what you're doing and adjusting to mentally that your body is satisfied. So depending on where you are when you start the cleanse, that is going to be what you struggle with, and it's going to determine whether you struggle continually and have ups and downs like I did, or whether or not it's just the first few days and then the last part of it is okay. So anyway, but I would say that overall you will find it it's something you're going to have to tough out. It's definitely something you need to prepare yourself for. I made a mental note to make sure that I informed everybody to be prepared for what you're doing. The product in the book, again, that I'm talking about is the 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse. You can Google it. You'll find a whole lot of information online. I used J.J. Smith's book, and I read it from cover to cover. She gives you wonderful, great advice about what exactly a green smoothie cleanse is. They call it a green smoothie because you're going to use some either mixed spring greens or spinach greens with water. You're going to blend that up first, and then you're going to add various fruits to it to almost cover up the taste of the green smoothie, or of the greens. And so you're going to find that the green smoothies actually taste very good. Sometimes they might be a little more grainy, and so those might be the days that you blend it more so that it's smoother. Others of you might not mind it being a little grainy. It might be fine. If you're one of those that likes pulp in your orange juice, then those days are going to feel perfect to you, because you're going to feel the little bits across your tongue, and you're going to say, oh, that's okay. I'm not like that. I like everything to be smooth, and so I just took the time to blend my smoothies a little bit more to make them smooth. But they taste very good, and it's very, like I said, worthwhile, because everything in the green smoothie is just vegetables. You got your spinach or your mixed greens, and then you have pure fruit. She does say, JJ says in her book, that you can add some sugar. You don't use the regular sugar. You're going to use the stevia. It's a more natural form of sugar. And so she advises you to make sure your smoothies taste good, because this is going to be your primary form of nutrition for the next 10 days. You want to make sure that it's enjoyable to you. And so there were days that I added a little bit of that, and there were other days I didn't add the stevia or the sugar at all, because I felt like just the natural taste was good enough for me. So wherever you find yourself in there, that's what you're gonna want to do. So as you're joining in, I see some people are just joining in. If you have questions for me, just type it in, or if you had a question and I didn't see it pop up, please just retype it in. But I think I'm trying to get to most of your questions, and then just comments that I've heard. Certainly, I think it's worth it to do. I just got a question in, was I still able to exercise during the cleanse? And that's a wonderful question. In the book, JJ does not recommend that you start exercising on the cleanse. You know how we get all geared up. Let's say this is New Year's Day and we're about to jump start and do all of this new stuff all together. You don't want to do that. On the green smoothie cleanse, if you were already exercising, for instance, I already had an exercise routine where I would run several days a week and then try to do an aerobics tape in between. So because that was already my routine, I continued that through the cleanse. But I also listened to my body. So remember I said that the second day I felt very fatigued. I took that day off, and I took a couple other days off because I didn't want to overwork my body. I wanted to give it the time it needed to adjust to the intake of just the smoothies and a few snacks. And so because of that, then I adjusted my exercise routine to accommodate for how my body felt. So it's important to listen to your body throughout the cleanse. If you are not one that already has an exercise routine, this is not the time to start an exercise routine. This is the time to just focus in on putting good, quality, healthy stuff into your body, and focus on finishing the 10 days with the green smoothies and with the healthy snacks. You want to keep your focus there. And then after you finish the cleanse, then that's when you might want to go ahead and start walking some more, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, just integrating some exercise into your routine. And then find exercise that you enjoy. I think that's the biggest thing with sticking with a type of exercise. So I love to run. When I get outside and my feet hit the pavement, I feel like I am my true self, and that's my me time, and my thoughts just flow. And so you will find that whether it's running, walking, playing tennis, swimming, whatever it might be, basketball, find that form of exercise that works for you and then stick with it. But again, if you are starting the cleanse and you do not have a regular exercise routine, don't use this as a time to get super motivated and try to do too much at one time. You want to focus only on the cleanse, only on the diet part, and then you can add in the exercise gradually after. So in terms of my aftercare, I've been finished with the cleanse about 12 days. I will honestly say that the day after the cleanse, I felt good, but I really desperately wanted to give myself something that I had not been able to have for the last 10 days. Because during the 10 days, every time you turn around, you are in a mode of self-discipline. So everything you see pretty much you cannot have, at least not in that form. And so you're constantly telling yourself no to that, no to this, no, none of that. You know, your coworkers are eating this and I'm over here with some carrot sticks. So after 10 days of doing that, you will find that you probably need to indulge at least one of those desires. Now, don't go overboard. You know, don't go gorge yourself. Don't go to the all-night food buffet and just sit there for 2 hours and eat everything that you can. But I would say, you know, if you find yourself in that situation, give yourself something that you've been thinking you want to have. And then that way you can come back to balance. You can come back to equilibrium. You can get that out of your system, and then you can say, oh my goodness, look at the work I've done. I've cleaned out my body. Now let me focus on trying to keep my body cleaned out. And so in terms of aftercare, like I said, I think a lot more carefully about what I'm putting in my mouth, even to the types of salad dressings, because some of them, the creamy ones, carry more fat. And so I try to do the ones that, you know, aren't fat-based. The other thing, and I can't really say this enough, is that you might be thinking right now, oh my gosh, I don't want to be, you know, I'm not a health nut. And I promise you, anybody that really knows me, I'm not a health nut. I'm not a health freak. I mean, I'm not going to dissect every label and all of that. I have 3 kids and a husband to feed at home. So, you know, I don't shop separately for myself and shop for them. But I do think very carefully about what I'm putting in, down to, you know, maybe instead of using regular butter, you might use some of the non-dairy or low-fat butters, you know, or margarines and things like that. So you just make substitutions that will lend themselves to a healthier lifestyle. It's the brown rice over the white rice. It's the sweet potato, which, believe it or not, is healthier than a white potato. So making those easy substitutions allows you to continue in this healthy lifestyle. And I have to continue to stress that the cleanse is merely a jump off point. It's only to get you thinking about what you're putting in your mouth. It's to think about living healthier. It's to think about making better choices when it comes to food. It's to think about the fact that, you know, I really am satisfied. Maybe I can just stop here and not get that second helping. That's really the purpose of the cleanse. It's not necessarily to lose the weight. Now, will you lose weight? Absolutely. You will lose weight on the cleanse. And again, that's because we carry around approximately about 10 pounds of waste anyway, because we have not flushed out our systems. We put a lot of chemicals in things, you know, in the United States. A lot of our foods have chemicals and things on them, or we eat saturated fats, and those things all crowd up in our system to make it to where we really do need to clean. We need to detox. So you will definitely lose weight. In my case, I lost 3 inches in my waist and 2 inches on my hips, and so that allowed me to get back into my pre-pregnancy clothes, which I was very excited about. So mommies, if you're out there and you've had kids and you're looking to get back to those pre-pregnancy clothes or need to jumpstart yourself for healthy living, this is for you and you can do it. Again, I'm not a diet person. I don't do fads. I believe in just eating the right way and exercising, and that the weight will come off, and that's what I need. And so you can do it, but many times we find ourselves stuck in a rut, and we need something to help us to be a catalyst to get out of that rut. And I know many of you might find yourselves in that spot, that you are just in a rut right now, and you need something that's going to push you out of the rut so that you can begin a new healthy lifestyle. And look, this is the perfect time to do it, because over the holidays there will be tons of things that are going to do nothing but add weight to us. And so this is the perfect time to begin thinking about making healthier selections when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas family dinner and all of those, and Halloween candy. This is the time that we can start thinking about that. Otherwise, you might be like one of my friends who said she always gains 5 pounds over the holidays. So this is a great tool to use, and that's exactly what it is. J.J. Smith's Green Smoothie Cleanse is a tool. It's a tool for healthy living. It's a tool to begin to rethink what you're putting in your body. It's a tool to, yes, lose some weight, but don't leave it there. Expect afterwards, as you begin to put some more solid food in, because you're moving from a liquid diet to a solid diet, you will gain a few of those pounds that you lost back, but you will continue to lose the weight as you continue with the healthy habits that you've adopted over the last 10 days. So instead of snacking on potato chips or whatever your favorite snack might be, then maybe you are grabbing those carrot sticks instead, or maybe a handful of healthy nuts that are not salted. Things like that are the things that you learn on the cleanse that help you sustain and maintain the weight loss and continue losing if that's your goal. One of the questions that just came in was your husband supportive, or did he tempt you to eat something you weren't supposed to? He was very supportive and basically just let me do the cleanse. I told him I was doing the cleanse, and so he let me do the cleanse, and I still cooked for he and my 3 children what they needed. So again, if you're in a household with others and they're not doing the green smoothie cleanse, I mean, I would never put my husband and my kids on the green smoothie cleanse. So that's another area where you're going to have to just grit it out. You're going to have to reach deep inside yourself for some serious determination, and so that you can make a good meal for them, but that you can discipline yourself so that you are drinking your smoothie. So once again, that can be difficult to do. And what you might find is that if you do it with a partner or a friend, you make that meal, you drink your smoothie, maybe you call your friend and say, oh my goodness, this is really tough because this food smells so good right now. But let them be an encouragement to you. Let people come around you to support you. Of course, you can always reach out to me on Facebook, and I'll answer any questions that you have. But it would be great if a group decided that they wanted to start together, on a Saturday or on a Monday and go for the 10 days. And so my husband was pleased with the results. I mean, he did not do the green smoothie cleanse, but he was pleased with the results of it, and I certainly was too. I did not expect it to do what it did. I have never done something over the course of 10 days and reached a goal like this. Again, I lost 9 pounds. I lost 3 inches in my waist and 2 inches off of my hips. And this has been the most extraordinary tool I have ever used. I typically just stick to whatever exercise regimen that I'm going to do, and then the weight will gradually come off that way, or I'll simply make sure that I'm eating as healthily as I think I can at the time, and the weight will come off. But I had my last child, my 3rd child, at 38, and so as you get older, it's more difficult for the weight to move, and there's a lot of scientific reasons for that. And so I needed something, and this tool really helped me, really did help me. So I hope that I have answered some questions. I hope I've been an encouragement to those of you out here that are listening. If anybody has any questions that just tuned in, I was just going over the fact that I did J.J. Smith's 10-day green smoothie cleanse. It consists of 3 smoothies. You're going to put in spinach greens or mixed greens with some water. You blend that up first, and then you add fruit on top. It makes for a great tasting smoothie. You can do the full cleanse, which is 3 smoothies a day, and then snacks throughout. Or you can do the moderate cleanse, which is just 2 of the smoothies, and then you do the snacks and a light meal. So whichever one you choose, you will find that you have results. Because think about it. It's a huge difference from what you're doing now. And so when you begin to let your body adjust to having things that are better for it, staying away from all of the fats and the oils and the different greases and things like that we typically use, you're going to lose some weight and you're going to lose some inches. So you will be rewarded whether you do the moderate cleanse or whether you do the full cleanse. And once again, please use it as a tool that will jumpstart you on a path of healthier living, of making healthy choices, of looking at foods differently. And you'll also realize as you're on the cleanse how much you think about food. We think about food almost all the time, I think. I know during the day I'm thinking, what do I have to cook for dinner? But for some of the rest of us, you might be thinking of other things. If you're not cooking for children, maybe you're cooking for yourself or cooking for your husband or your wife or what have you. But we think about food a whole lot. And so that will be one of your revelations on the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, is how much you really do think about food and how much you think about the wrong foods. Because just as sure as you are told you can't have something, that's when you start to crave it. And so what I want you to prepare for as you get ready for the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, prepare for those times that will come. There will be a mental battle, and you will have to fight the mental battle in order to continue with the cleanse. So you figure out what works for you. You're going to need to do some self-talk. And you know, if you're visual, I said earlier, put up a picture of maybe yourself when you look the way that you want to look, or maybe it's a picture of somebody else and it serves as inspiration for you that you can put on your mirror, or maybe it's a picture of what you don't want to look like. You put that on your refrigerator. Whatever you need to do mentally to prepare yourself, that's what you need to do, because there will come a time when you will need to gut down and say, okay, I need to do this. The other thing is, I think it helps to realize that 10 days are going to go by anyway. So would I like to do something different in those 10 days and be able to celebrate an accomplishment at the end? Or do I want to continue down the same path that I'm going? And so what's 10 days? 10 days of self-sacrifice, of self-discipline, really. But 10 days that in the end could reward me for the rest of my life. I think it's probably worth it if you think about it like that. So prepare. J.J. Smith in her book includes a list of grocery lists, so it's very easy to follow. You go in the store, maybe there's 10 or 12 things on the list. You get the stuff on the list, and it's for 5 days at a time. So it makes it very easy for busy people like myself to do it. Go in, get the stuff, and you're ready to go. But outside of the physical preparation in terms of getting your materials, you must prepare mentally. Prepare for those times when you know you might want to give up. Ask yourself, what am I going to do in those times where I feel like I'm very hungry? Don't forget to remind yourself that your body is satisfied and it is receiving the fuel that it needs. So remember that as you begin to feel hunger pains, that you're reprogramming your mind to understand the fact that the body is full, and that when the body is full and satisfied, then it's time to stop eating. And the other tip I would give is, anybody like me get night cravings, or the later you stay up, the hungrier you get, go to sleep. You need to just go to sleep. When you start feeling yourself getting hungry in the evening, if you can go to sleep, you need to go to sleep. Or go and get a good book to read. and then you need to get some rest. And you need to get lots of rest anyway on the cleanse, because once again, as your body is flushing all of the toxic waste out, you want to replenish and have plenty of time for it to replenish itself by resting and by getting your sleep. So that's all I have. If I don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I certainly appreciate everybody who joined. I hope it again was an encouragement to you. The cleanse I used was J.J. Smith's 10-day green smoothie cleanse. I had wonderful results for those that are just joining. 9 pounds I lost in the 10 days, and then I lost 3 inches in my waist and 2 inches off of my hips. So again, I've never experienced that type of thing because I don't believe in doing quick weight loss with pills or different stuff. But this is a very healthy way to jumpstart you. It is a tool that you use to continue making healthy choices even after the cleanse is over. If you don't choose to make the healthy choices after the cleanse is over, you have basically made the sacrifice in vain. And I'll just be very honest with you. You have to use it as a tool. After the cleanse is over, you need to continue to be a healthy eater and think about food more critically than you did before. And you will find that it is going to be something that will impact the rest of your life and put you on a wonderful path for health, for the duration not just of your life, but also of those that you're raising, of your children. It lets you know, and puts you in a better mindset to say, oh, well, maybe I should give my kids this instead of that. I mean, what greater thing to pass on to our children than how to maintain and be healthy in their physical bodies. So again, this is Chilesa Ready, and I'm about to sign off, but thank you all for joining me. If you have other questions, hit me up on Facebook, or if you'd like me to do the talk again, you missed some piece of information, please let me know, and we'll see if we can do this again. All right, I'm going to sign off. Everybody have a great evening. Oh, I did forget to say, I do have a Run Girl page, and that's where I post some exercise routines. I put fit tips on there. I have a blog that I do for inspirational living. And so if you're interested in any of those things, whatever I can do to keep you encouraged, that is my goal. Good night, everyone.